Welcome to the Podcast Cafe. I'm out here with Fat Master Grindsmith.
Because pressure makes diamonds and heat makes you harder. Now pump that heat.
And the one and only BB Styles.
Let's go to the top.
What's happening?
No, but Fitz, no, Chovich, man. As in Wimnandi, but I'm blessed, man. Getting the two of you on, it's good to see Wani in Joburg at the same time. It's 2023. How did you get hold of Styles, bro?
Hey man, we've been watching it. First of all, shout out to the Podcast Cafe followers. Shout out to Luazi, the last name, Mark actually. Thank you for having us here. Been following, I've been following your career and I was loving what you're doing on the podcast. So when you reached out to me and say, yo man, I need you to pull up, and then he starts to pull up and Styles was about to hit to PMB, I'm like, nah, this gotta happen now,
For real.
So I hit up my homie, he said, don't ask twice, bro, we gonna be here. So yeah, be here. That's what's happening.
For real, thank you guys so much for making the time to come out. It's been how many years, man? The two of y'all, I know I hardly see Styles. How many years has it been since y'all were together?
God damn.
That was back to Pyramid Skeem days.
I didn't have to use dudes when the World Cup. I was usually in winter.
Nah, that's even before 2020 because we were recording 556 in like 08, 09.
Oh man, yeah.
Yeah, so it's been something like more than a decade, bro.
15 years.
More than 15 years.
Yeah.
Damn.
More than 15 years of making great music, of collaborating, of mentoring me, us working on different things. So yeah, it's been like a good decade and a half.
No, man, for sure. So for our listeners out of the Podcast Cafe, I always say shout out to the people that make the show happen. Shout out to the people out in America. The people we've got people in Sweden, man. I've got people in Italy. I've got people in crazy countries where I'm thinking the love. Lagos, Nigeria,
The African races.
Yeah. So, yeah, what I always love, and I see you guys as well got mad listeners outside the world. Like I always, make a shout out to the rest of the world because I've realized that in South Africa, it's not just SA that listens to us, man. And I think with hip hop music, because of the language, it's like it hits everywhere in the world. And so for our listeners who don't know, Styles and Grindsmith started off with Pyramid Skeem back in the day. It was Styles, Grindsmith, and Rashid K. I know he's gonna be listening. Shout out, King. So yeah, man, tell me. Yeah, I'm gonna come to you, Styles. Like hip hop journey wise, what's been the vibe like out in PMB? I know you spent a lot of time in KZN.
Take these off. Hey, that's serious, man. That's my heart right here.
Yeah.
I'm in the spot, man.
Yeah.
And Peter Marisburg, right? I'm gonna say Peter Marisburg is like a smaller version of Pretoria.
Okay.
We like style. We clean.
Yeah.
I'm not like I'm Pretoria as well. It's very hot there.
Yeah.
Music always tends to set soundtrack to.
I feel you.
Yeah, a lot of DJs.
Oh yeah.
They dominate the scene. DJ culture is huge.
Oh.
Yeah, the Kom is not that house over there, still thriving.
Oh yeah. So that's like club scene.
Like club scene, okay.
All right.
Not even piano that much, but Kom, even expensive Kom, like that's such a thing. But like that.
I feel you.
It's there. It doesn't go anywhere. It's DJs like on every block. Every weekend, DJs run the event scene.
Yeah.
Then there's us, the diehards who listen to the beginning, all the juniors,
Yeah.
Deep house and still, when hip hop was hard to get our own dance floors in the club.
For real.
We've been trying to get it in there and still bring on writing and performing.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, man, that is your monthly events, man, your cookout sessions.
Yeah.
There's family events with jazz bands and everything.
I want to touch upon that. How does one, because those type of events actually are actually more often than those big events, and for artists I think that's a smart move whereby we start off with those usual local that are happening all the time, such as your cookouts and stuff. What does it take to crack that market?
Oh man, I would say just have a newfound level of respect, man, and cleanness with your performance. Presentation of it must be very clean. Must be able to handle at least 4 or 5 piece band.
Okay.
A USB cat,
Oh yeah?
Yeah, the backing track.
Yeah, you mean like a whole band?
There's a time and place for the backing track, but there you need a band.
Oh yeah?
You know what I mean? Like spend on your band, invest in that, rehearse with your band. and then go rock a set there, man. Like it'll take you places.
I love what you're saying.
I can add to that, and I know the conversation is still on PNB, but even like within the city, like in any space, I think that consistency in performing and the consistency in presenting music, the consistency in presenting yourself digitally, being visible, that's how you crack the market. So the more consistent you are with your visibility, and also it doesn't hurt, airplay doesn't hurt, but just consistency in visibility, presentation, and always working, that just brings, it attracts more. That's how you get into the space and you stay in that space.
I like that because, I work with a lot of people. I mean, I speak to a lot of people, and I find that with those that are struggling to crack the market, we hardly discuss it, and it's always maybe a conversation of like, they just need one chance to blow. I think, I get the feeling that guys want the big time break instead of just, like consistency, like what you're saying, keeping it local, because our local areas need consistent, entertainment. And I mean, isn't that where you're supposed to start? I feel like this is another reason why guys maybe might tend to think some years are not as good as others, because people want to go big. I don't know. It's like, what's your sentiment on like going big, as in like if you're not reaching that whole thing of being big fame and then you're not making it, as opposed to just like make sure you got consistency and play around your hood?
I love that question, brother, and I want to start with the concept of what's big, Like, for example, I mean, Baby Styles, his name is stretches far and wide, This man got collaborations in America, this man opened for 50 at some point, Like, he's been working. Like, I got songs in countries I've never been to that went viral, like songs that went viral in Los Angeles, that went viral in the Netherlands. Numbers that I might not even see here at home,
Yeah.
So now the idea of what's big is like, we expect everybody that's an artist to be as consistently on local TV and etc. as like maybe your Casper or AK. But if you look at how the industry is set up, there can never be too many people on that level at the same time.
Right.
So there's always going to be a limit, because there's certain powerhouses that push those consistent brands.
Yeah.
So there'll be a certain label they'll dominate the charts. There'll be a label that dominates certain shows, There'll be a conglomerate. And so most artists feel like if they're not part of that 10, let's say the top 10,
they're eclipsed by that.
And that
maybe I'm not moving.
That motivates them. But at the same time, if you're consistent and you're putting out your work, you're hitting people in places where they might not be reaching, It's not a competitive thing.
Yeah. So
the idea of being consistent and the idea of producing quality music and the idea of creating quality art and presenting yourself consistently is that you reach people in pockets where mainstream might not. You reach people that might not gravitate to the sound that's on radio or the sound that's on TV. And that's an audience on its own. I mean, at the end of the day, we all quantify it as a business, so you gotta make money from it, But the idea that you have to be part of this select group of 10 artists that are constantly on TV is the myth that keeps a lot of artists from getting to where they could go. And it's also a process of building. If you look at the greatest artists, I mean, I know that, the young kids blow up quicker. But if you look at the most legendary artists and the ones with the most longevity, those people took a long time to break. Black Coffee, we talking about him offline, took a long time to build his brand. And by the time he got in, most people would have quit by the time he got on.
Oh yeah.
Check was on the 7, bro. Just maybe 17 years, fucked off with the teenage guys.
What I'm saying. So it's also a process of building, and the idea that if you're consistent and you're doing your thing properly, eventually you'll get to the level that you need to get.
I love that, man. I love the perception that you guys have of the art. Let's speak about the last 5 years, right? So that we include pre-COVID, during COVID, and after COVID. How would you all say, like, each of y'all, like, how's your music transformed in terms of like the story or the production or the, there's the digital era now and everything, but how would you say, I'll start with you, Styles, like how has it been influenced and how has it changed?
Oh man, okay, so with me, a big transaction I can remember though, 2013, 14, I did something with the lady from New Orleans, right? That collaboration anyway spot on Back to the City on a big festival.
Wow.
Now she was in the country, trying to do a concert with Styles P of the Logs that didn't work out. I ended up hosting my spots in Joburg. Just stayed for like an extra 7 days, and then took her around quickly. She did a collab with myself, some guys in Cape Town. She ended all of us in Back to the City, right? So I learned collaboration was key, right?
Damn.
Because it got me at Back to the City. I've never been there as a solo act, but I got in there. It's on my resume now.
That's nice. I love that because collaboration. Been hearing
20,000 people. Now I've got a friend forever in New Orleans, you know, and it's, as it is. No later. As it is. Yeah. So now, then, 2018, I always drift off to study something whenever I get frustrated with the music.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I always make
I love that.
Even if I'm not touring or taking stuff to radio, I just make music every year.
Yeah.
And then ended up, messing with film production studies. And then there something just clicked.
I saw that time, man.
I love making music more now.
Oh.
So I can marry that too with film.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Series vibes. I can see, okay, I can do this here, do that, and I just look the whole process and I can see how long it takes for the film to jump off a series. Like, why am I complaining? Music is like the same thing.
Yeah.
So I just enjoy making music, but nothing is at stake now.
Oh.
So I always got music in the world. But and the way I do it, like even if I'm not on the radio, I'll be competing with the guy who was the hottest thing out there on the radio. Like when Costa was making a album, who was making something that could match up to that. AK is making whatever, even though I'm not on radio like that.
Oh, I feel you.
So I just keep my levels up there.
I like you keep the bar high.
When the time comes, I'm gonna drop stuff. It's gonna be relevant to the time that's supposed to come out, and when I feel like, okay, this guy hasn't been anywhere, but stuff is coming, you know.
I love that. Tato.
Just to take it back before we go back to the pre-COVID and whatnot, like I love what Stars is saying about, when the music frustrates you, branch out and do something else. I mean, I did the same. When, look, we had our singles, we had our airplay, whatnot, and when I felt like, the industry is like not giving me what I need, burst into film, and I've done documentaries for a lot of the biggest channels in the country and internationally. I'm running my multimedia company. I'm working on documentary projects right now, and music has been consistent. We keep making music throughout, and I love what he's saying about seeing how long it takes to get a product like that to that scale. Also reiterates the fact that you need to take the time with the music too. Like, it's not a rush, it's not a race. It's art. But going back to how music has transformed, or how my music has transformed from pre-lockdown, pre-COVID to now, I'd say pre-lockdown, I think my focus has always been, like a lot of artists, focus has always been chasing those platforms, so making hits, making songs that gotta be hot right now, but might not be hot in the next 6 months, but it's hot right now, so you get to gig right now. And COVID came and destroyed that, like it came and like, even if you had the hottest song, you weren't gigging, even if you had the hottest song. So now you had to look at how am I gonna still eat from this music, without the market of live,
Of course.
And that's where you realize that, safe deals, streaming,
Makes sense.
getting your music into visual projects, online performances, And what that did was, for me, it also changed my approach to the sound, because instead of now listening to what's out and saying, okay, I need to match that, I was like, what do I feel like is absent that people would love to find either way, whether video or not. It changed my whole sound. Like the album that Stars is featured on and the singles we've been doing, we've played around with different sounds from drill to trap. But what has been consistent, and I think they'll hear the music when you play it, is that there's a tempo that even Styles on his album, there's a tempo that he's writing on, and that's the tempo that I'm writing on my projects. And that's the sound that is eternal. When all of this hot shit fades, that's the sound that tempo.
Oh yeah, tell me more about that.
It's like always, when you make lasagna. You all these things at the bottom before you add the fancy toppings with the cheese, the mozzarella, the green pepper, all these things. So at the bottom there, before you base the fryer thing, That's that sound that's will always be there.
Yeah.
All the stuff, who's fashion, you won't go back to that one.
Yeah, and you know what drives that sound? It's natural. So naturally, if you take an individual, right, and you don't give them any indication of any idea of a tempo, you just say tap your foot. Like I'll ask you to do the example, tap your foot.
Oh yeah.
That's the frequency.
Oh yeah.
Naturally.
Oh.
See, that's why I wanted to come back to that. I didn't tell you how to tap.
Oh, I feel you.
You know, and when you're on that frequency, when you're not competing with what's on the radio, when it's fast or slow, it's piano, whatever.
Yeah.
When you're on that frequency, you can't fail. Because the minute you hit that thing, it hits you.
With your mates, my head was chilling like this, private. They'd be like, hey man, let me Spotify. I'm like, hey man,
the second it comes in, the second it comes in, you caught, you know, and that's where and Styles been doing it naturally. To me, it came to me naturally, and that's where we realized that music, when you're not creating music for platforms, and you're not chasing radio, when you're making music for people, it flows and people will gravitate towards it, you know. So that's what has changed.
So I'm gonna remind people like that when you hear my first single. I'm pushing 2 singles.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Second called Yes. When you hear what we're talking about, you know what I mean?
Yeah, we want to play it on the podcast cafe.
Yes. When you hear a bit of that in my song called Stofu as well. And then I think from the 3rd, 4th single onwards, my album was starting hip hop that you know me for.
Oh.
That international LA sounds as well here and there.
Yeah.
You know, some more garage UK here and there with some rastas in it. And
So hold on, like is this what you've dropped, or is this?
It's coming up.
That's what's gonna come up after.
What's available now is Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, dope. And then you, Tato, like the Fat Mouse. I want to know, what do you have? I heard something about the stove. When's that land?
Yeah, so you see my niggas dropping a single called Stove, and we just realized that I got a single called Stove that's also dropping now in October.
Yeah, tell me about stove.
Yeah, so Stove is that frequency that I'm telling you about. That,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that natural choke.
Oh yeah.
Like the minute the beat drops, your body just starts moving itself, you know?
For real.
Yeah, so Stove is produced by a guy called Mino Golden. He's also featured on the song. He's a very talented piano artist and DJ and producer. So yeah, he gave me the record and he's like, yo, what can you do here? Second the beat dropped, my body let me jump on it, and it's the banger that we're dropping for October. So there's gonna be a battle of the stoves this summer.
What's happening?
Yeah, it's gonna be Mr. Grimes,
We'll be fucking up a few pubs.
you know.
Tell me something.
This fucking stove, bro.
Stove tour, I think it's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, it's gonna be a stove tour, bro.
Sounds hot.
Hold on, two legs popping off.
You know.
Tell me about your stove then, Styles.
My stove for my guy, it's gonna be like, I wanna say grown and sexy.
Alright.
I want to say clean image, not to sweat. I want to say it's gonna win over even a non-hip hop head lover, you know?
For real.
Yeah, just beautiful music, man. Vibe.
And then what's your music making process been like recently, you know, like post COVID? I mean, how has it changed? You know what I mean? I know earlier on we spoke about doing gigs, you know, in your local community and all that, chasing a makukatsi and delay. And you can see, you know, it's not waiting for those big concerts no more. What's your music making process been like though?
Oh man, like I don't produce, I don't make beats, right? I'm a lyricist.
All right, tell me about that.
But I'm one person that when I go there, I listen to a catalog, to a producer, I visit the studio,
Yeah.
and I'm like, I like that. Immediately I pop my head, I'm really working on the hook for it.
Yeah.
And I've learned to trust more even my producer as well sometimes. Do various things. I work for my film school, film studies or doing a project.
Yeah.
I come back to my producer and as a hook. Done already.
Are you into music videos? I'm thinking since you've been doing film,
Yeah,
are you looking at incorporating music to tell stories?
Oh yes, I do, my guy. I told my story of my current album. It's profiled like 4 songs. I've been completed the album. I shot that during level 5.
What do you mean? Where can I see that, bro?
So my YouTube channel called I Am BD Styles, all small letters.
Yeah.
My YouTube channel.
I need to check that out.
It's 9 minutes long.
I need to see
It's a
that.
visual demo. I'm presenting myself, each song, going through each song, but I only do 4 songs.
Oh, that's nice.
You see, it's like that's me, short in Peter Marisburg when no one could walk around.
And I guess that's like how people can get into your world.
Oh man, that's the best way to work it.
And I think that's one of the things that have happened as well, like the whole digital, the way it's transformed. Like we can run your own office online. It's like I know you used to fucks with online digital way back, right?
Way back, bro.
We started this thing long before.
I remember.
Long before niggas.
I think I heard the term coding first from this
Bro.
Now we've been on the digital space, and what's been.
How far are you now? Wait, what are you up to? Because that space.
Look, I mean, I did mention that I did branch. Sometimes the music industry puts a lot of pressure on you, and also human beings, we've got financial needs. So I've spent a lot of my recent time doing film stuff.
Yeah, nice.
Trees, But most recently, I've also taken a break from that because I realized that the more I'm in the film space, the less music I create.
Yeah.
So I've taken a break from that. I'm back on my digital grind. I'm mostly pushing digital marketing. So
I love that.
yeah, so clients, we set up. It's like I call it a one-stop shop. So
Hey man, what happens there, man? I need some digital marketing like services, bro. Like, so what does that entail?
my company is Sugar Multimedia.
Yeah.
So what we do, it's a one-stop shop, from start to finish. So you conceptualize your brand position, right? So whatever product that you're offering, we create a platform, your website that will house it. So whether it's e-commerce or,
Hey, it is dope.
or it's booking or whatever, but we create a digital system for you where you can convert your traffic or your visitors into sales or into bookings.
Are you serious?
Deals. And then once you've got your website set up, then we coordinate with you to create content around your brand. And once we've created content around your brand, which is also incorporates videos, so we film, we do photography, we set up your visual assets and digital assets that you can utilize on social media, etc.
Yeah.
And
Optimization, all that kind of stuff.
I need that service, yeah.
And then the final stage is when we do paid marketing. So once you've created the platform and you've created the content that you need, then we start targeting. That's where your ad spend is. So now we're spending to promote that content to the people that are looking for it. And how that works is on Facebook, for example, or let me say on Instagram. On Instagram, you'll find people that are looking for beauty tips and health tips or hair care products or skincare products. So once we've created your digital assets on your website, then we run campaigns based on the demographic keywords and certain tags that we get from research that tells us that these are the people looking for these products, and we put you right in front of them. So it becomes your whole marketing system becomes digitized, and it's done with one service provider, and it's done in one go. So your people can go from seeing your ad on your Instagram to clicking through to literally buying on your website to the money in your bank.
Whoa, that sounds hella synchronized, man.
Yeah, so it's coordinated because that's what the digital world is. It's no longer like a website is no longer a pamphlet. That's what websites used to be like. It's just a pamphlet where you get to read about a business. Now a website is literally solving business problems, So if you need to extract data, you need people to do exams, you need to communicate.
Point of sale.
Point of sale. We build that structure and build the content that will attract it.
What's the name of the business? Where can people get hold of you?
Atluga Multimedia, at Atluga Multimedia on all social media platforms, www.atlugamultimedia.com. That's the digital grind. So outside of the music, that's the company that does the filming, the web design, the marketing, etc. That's the hustle, the side hustle. Well, it's not the side hustle, it's the hustle. But yeah.
All right, Styles. What I heard you just give me a little bit in terms of what type of service you bring out. I mean, the type of services that you're doing, and just give me the handles for that. So we're about to take a break. It's been 30 minutes.
Man, music-wise,
yeah. In fact, everything.
Basically everything, man.
Yeah.
Music-wise, you can find me on my YouTube channel, right? I am BB Styles, all small caps, right?
I love that.
All my talkies are there, performances and everything else, man. Recording sessions of the current album that's about to drop.
Yeah.
First quarter of 2024.
Nice.
The real BB Styles on IG. Page is BB Styles, BBS2LZ on Facebook. And we're grinding with my partner with the films as well. Stay tuned. We're about to bring you the first TV drama series at Pyramid Skeem.
Alright, dope. So we're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to be outside, and this will be going deep into the music.
Load shedding? Who cares? I'm at the Podcast Cafe.
Siphume spread, siphume Eastrand, Ekatlehong, you know, 1431, 1430. That's where it all began, and that's where we got, you know, conscientized to the fact that the way the country is set up is not exactly the nicest way, but we had to make do with what we had. And today we are award winners, man. Today we on playlists. Today we got documentaries, and so from that, you know, we gotta celebrate that we made a lot of progress in this 30 years. And in this 30 years, the progress that we made, I'm celebrating it with this record, and this record is called Stove. You know, because pressure makes diamonds and heat makes you harder. Now bump that heat.
Woo! If this song doesn't hit you, if the instrumentals, whether you black, white, Indian, or you colored, you talk like us, it depends. There is no ways this song doesn't hit you.
Stove, Kiwili stove, yabona nangugel na stove, suga na ingozi. Stove, phethe ne stove, waqala amaqhinga la kubovu, suga na ingozi. Abasha stove, Kiwili stove, yabona nangugel na stove, suga na ingozi. Stove, phethe ne stove, waqala amaqhinga la kubovu, suga na ingozi. Abasha 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 Abasha. Yeah, sure. You're meant to grind, mfana kithi uyangithola. Siphethe nama straight my stickers on. Umntwana wenzani ngathi ufike ngokumosha. Yeah, sure. Danger gefare mfana kithi paso. Qhubeka ugoloze mfana kithi uzozisola. Bese ngibela ugel wakho ngidlise nge-order. Sangen. Ithabo vula ndlela. Sangen. Ithabo mosha kuphela. Sangen. Ithabo vula ndlela. Sangen. Ithabo mosha kuphela.
Lana kamatala, baby chick with the streets. Yabona now lana asidlali nama 8. Yabona now lana shooting on my plate. Stove sigu 8, check the skate. Nino got the crowd at the gate. Grind in the bobo ngati bolu number 8. Grind on the stage, got your flower going 8. And it's nothing like a day, just a little taste. What's the day? Angazi ngoba ngishisa why. Nangale number ngibizwa why. Nale media kitiza why. Wena nezakho ngidla why. What's the day? Angazi ngoba ngishisa why. Nangale number ngibizwa why. Nale media kitiza why. Wena nezakho ngidla why.
Stove, Kiwili stove, yabona nangugel na stove, suga na ingozi. Stove, phethe ne stove, waqala amaqhinga la kubovu, suga na ingozi. Abasha 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 Abasha.
What up, what it do, Emphiti? What's up, people all over the world? Being born in Pietermaritzburg, Emphiti, A1, KwaZulu-Natal, right? Born and bred. Learned everything I know there, from sports to the mic games, what I do now. So I can tell you, coming up as a younger man, 30 years ago, where the landscape wasn't so conducive, man, to fulfill our dreams. You know, I was a youngin', but you know, we were running from Mama Hippo, Mama Sosha, about to be points of tear gas, you know, all type of turmoil. Life was bad. It was, you know, bloodshed and everything. The only time stadiums were full was, you know, political rallies, gatherings.
segregating the community furthermore, splitting families apart. You know, Silaba Felogazi, you know what I mean? It was a terrible time. Hey man, post 94, 95 onwards, things happened, things changed. We got our freedom, bro, we got our swag. We started doing sport, we started shining. We started making music and giving you all the soundtracks to bump to, you know? So, sincerely yours, Peter Marisburg, Emba, the stage 1. All the hustlers, you're a musician, you're an actor, you're a cinematographer, whatever. Yebo Yes is the song that's gonna take you there. I'm saying, Uhamba Namu Yasala. Let's go to the top, alright? Yebo Yes, bump that. But your man, BB, S2Y LZ, your boy, BB Styles. Danko.
If this song doesn't hit you, if the instrumentals, whether you black, white, Indian, or you colored, you talk like us, it depends. There is no ways this song doesn't hit you.
Yebo Yes, smile like the Oma Cash. Double BS, T-Y-L-Z. Munga hamnat, mama hlale back. But if you really vibe, mama holla back. Speta masi, ngathi sidli brook. Legs, what's the shoe size? But your body too fast. Let your numbers totally vibe. If you came with your ex, awukuthini mangiyahlala net you too fresh. Hamba nas uyasala, mami, uhamba nas uyasala. Ithi, hamba nas uyabloma mama. Uhamba nas uyasala mama. Hamba nas uyasala mama. Uhamba nas uyabloma. Manje uthini mami sizodlalisana kahle. BB Styles namagenge sizoniphatha kahle. Ebathi lodge space again Australiano. Colorbo yebo gathi kunomiyano. Always got the one pure Jade Silver plus nerami galom rango siyabaphinda ena futhi ngeke balungi man. Abokhle kwibhari jabi chithi buka. Cela ukubuza ubani duke. Agad man, fragging man, maxim no fluke. Yasibona studio, hlanganisa inyuku. Biza namagenge sonke sibe muhle. Hamba nas uyasala, mami, uhamba nas uyasala. Hamba nas uyabloma mama. Uhamba nas uyasala mama. Hamba nas uyasala mama. Uhamba nas uyabloma. Hamba nas uyasala, mami, uhamba nas uyasala. Hamba nas uyabloma mama. Uhamba nas uyasala mama. Hamba nas uyasala mama. Uhamba nas uyabloma. Bravo yella yella. Yeah, Scaliano, no one better. BB Styles. Hey, if I couldn't show you my double HP, Styles, my nigga. You finally got that nigga, we on. I repeat to the board, whichever, homie for life. Rango Yella on beats. Yeah boy, yes. Let's go. Hamba nas uyasala, mami, uhamba nas uyasala. Hamba nas uyablo